All right. So we start the recording, and I will do my intro thing. All right, here we go. Hello and welcome to Full Warning, a Team Serious podcast. Today I'm joined by Duane Haddix.
Hello.
And Eric Caffrey.
Hi.
Hey, Duane. Hey, Eric. Thank you for joining me on the podcast. We will pour one out for Angelo. He is on the road now on a well-deserved trip with his family, and we will honor him later by indulging his swag corner, but we'll say what's up to Angelo here.
He actually sent me a text today. He's at the Mall of America, or he was when he texted me, and he found me a Mountain Dew Baja Blast trucker hat. So I am going to be the proud owner of one of those when he comes back into town.
Awesome. I want to start out by doing some intros for the world, for all the 3 listeners that will listen to this. So I'm going to start out with Duane. We have a short history on this show, but we have a standard question that we're going to ask, and I will say to you, Duane,
who are you, and what are you doing here?
I am a longtime Team Serious member. I have been playing Vintage for 15 or so years, and 98% of that has been playing workshop decks. And I'm here because I enjoy being friends and having fun.
Beautiful. I love that answer. I love that. It seems like you're ready for that question. So, Eric, now that you know what I'm going to ask,
who are you, and what are you doing here?
I forgot the question. My name's Eric Caffrey. I don't want to say I'm a founding member of Team Serious, but I don't know of my Vintage life without it. I started playing back in 2003 when I sold all my extended cards for dual lands, and have been playing in Lakewood and Cleveland, Ohio pretty much since then.
In terms of being a founding member, I believe both you and Duane were at the dinner where G gave his founding member drunken speech. I think the video is pretty blurry, so maybe you guys could confirm or deny.
It's been a long time, but yeah, that was the very first invitational that we all did.
I was not there. Me and Kevin Ponish, a buddy of mine, another Vintage aficionado of non-standard decks. We're Ann Arbor people, and that's a bit away from Ohio. And at that point, we had not been indoctrinated into the group.
Well, let me just pull that thread for a second and say, okay, so we've established Eric is a technically founding member. Now let me pull the thread of you, Duane. When did you get wrapped up into this nonsense?
Well, I had been following Vintage for quite a long time. I was trying to play it in high school in 2004 and 2005 back then, trying to put together a keeper deck. But it was rough, and I hated drawing the wrong lands.
Okay.
So I ended up trying to put together a workshop deck, but all the workshop decks were 5 colors. And then pretty soon they printed Thorn of Amethyst, and then from there I just dropped all the colors in the deck and was just like, this is fine. I don't have to worry about colors anymore. Every land produces the mana I need.
Any colors.
Around that time, I wasn't really playing in any events because we didn't have any events, and so I just played with some friends and then went off to college, and I met my buddy Kevin, who we discovered each other played Vintage, mostly just online using Magic Workstation. And we were palling around, and pretty soon we found out that, hey, there's a bunch of tournaments that happen in Ohio. So he and I would gather together the 30 spare dollars that we'd have between us in college, and we'd trip down to Columbus or Sandusky when there were a lot of Sandusky events, and have to avoid the tollway because, who's going to pay $7 when your budget's like 30,
Dude,
it's
that's
like half
half
the money.
That's like half of dinner.
Yeah. So when we went to these events and we met a bunch of these guys that, oh man, this is Trogdon. This is Jerry Yang. Like, this is Yang
Dude,
time.
he top 8 champs that one year.
Yeah, and so we're meeting all
Yeah.
these guys, and we're like, oh, we know these guys from TMD, the Mana Drain. And we went to a few of these events, and pretty soon everyone was talking about going to dinner and the message board. And so we asked, what do we have to do to get on the special message board? And then this was in, I don't know, I think this was around 2010 or 2011. And I think we just missed the first invitational. We were still flirting with the Team Serious members, trying to get access to the Team Serious boards when the first invitational happened.
It was serious before. You need to get voted on and approved, right?
I think so.
They tried to make it very similar to like a mean deck or short bus situation, or like who was the other ones? Team Reflection, where you actually had interview processes and stuff like that. So they were trying to. That was G's whole impetus of that speech was we were all just friends and gamers, and Jerry was doing well, and Trogdon was doing well at these events, and they would flirt with greatness, and so they were like, all right, let's focus, let's be a team, we're Team Serious, let's do this. And then I think 2 or 4 votes in, everybody's like, yeah, dude, whatever, you're in, I think people underestimated the amount of work and the lack of care that we needed to make this team a thing.
It didn't set out to be a meme team. It was like a real team.
The Team Serious moniker came about because Jimmy McCarthy, who was on the last podcast or previous one, responded to somebody on the Mana Drain about Sandwich Punch, because that was a game that we were all deathly into and technically still are for life. But
there is no escape from Sandwich Punch once you know the rules.
There isn't, no. Dude, my first month when I moved to Las Vegas, I kept covering my sandwiches, like eating alone in the diner. Just out of sheer fear.
Jaco's going to drop through the ceiling and smash your sandwich.
Just out of nowhere. So Jimmy responded to this Mana Drain post where someone was deriding Sandwich Punch.
Deriding Sandwich Punch, saying, I don't know why anybody would play this stupid game. And to be honest, fair. But you know what? you. Come on. So he ended his 3-paragraph long diatribe of defending Sandwich Punch with 1,000% serious, and then he got a full warning from one of the mods of the Mana Drain for like derision.
That's where the full warning comes from.
That's 1,000% serious full warning T-shirt and sticker and so that's where that all came from.
There you go. Well, that's awesome to hear about. Eric, let me just ask you real quick then. When did you start Magic? You started Vintage with Team Serious, but when did you play, like, open your first pack?
I distinctly remember buying 2 of the green-white Invasion Precons back in 2000.
What was the hot card in that?
I don't know. I was really a big fan of Kavu Chameleon.
Nice.
Because it came into play, and I think you drew a card, and it was a 5-mana 4/4. Pretty crazy.
Value.
That seems good.
That seems good. For 3 and 2 green. I mean, I would say that's borderline playable in some of my middle school decks.
It does sound very playable. It draws a card.
Well, in my decks at least. I don't know about any real ones, but so I started in like Invasion Block era, just playing with friends who I lived near on the same street.
Okay.
Just so happened enough that right up on Detroit Avenue, right by my house, there's a place called Alter Reality. They had Magic events. I used to play Extended and Standard and played during that whole era. And then right during Mirrodin Block, I distinctly remember this PTQ because I was playing Blue-Green Control in a Mirrodin Block PTQ in Rocky River. And I went 0-2 drop and I was pissed. I traded Josh Ravitz and his wife an insane amount of money in extended cards. I traded all my deeds away, like all of the middle school playables that I would just like have loved to have kept for 30 years. I traded away for 5 duels. And I was so
seems like a good trade now, though, right? Like,
yeah, maybe. I don't know. I traded a pretty decent stack of cards for those 5 duels. It was kind of
deeds are like $10 now, I think. So yeah,
I was kind of sour on it at the time, but at the same time, I was happy with the trade anyways. I just wanted to get into older formats and playing around with Vintage. I think that was right around the time when Grow was still a thing, and I was playing pretty heavily on IRC channels as a young buck, Magic League particularly.
How do you play on IRC? Like, how do you do that on IRC?
It was the chat room that you just like got together. They had chat bots that created tournaments and did tournament pairing and software and stuff like that for that.
What did you play on? Magic Workstation?
Yeah, Workstation or Apprentice, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Interesting.
I thought you had some sort of deck representation on IRC, and then
That's what I was thinking. Like, how are you like King's Pawn to...
Actually, yeah, we played Correspondence Magic. That's what we
like I play Island fast.
Yeah. 3 weeks later, Island, go. Just...
I mean,
My round
maybe
took
you
4
were doing
years.
that. I don't know.
Having like the dual lands was cool, and then right from there, I just started playing like a bunch of bug sort of vintage lists. All of my own concoctions because we didn't like. I just like to play the old cards.
Right.
I like to play a lot of spell heavy type of things. Like Storm was always my bang.
Okay.
I remember my first vintage deck that I paid $20 to play for a Mox Ruby at Alter Reality with was a Buried Alive Dragon deck because I didn't have Bazaars and it was 5 proxy, so I proxied all of them.
So this is World Gorger Dragon, right? Not Reanimate or Dragon. Okay.
Yeah. So the idea is to turn 1 Dark Ritual Buried Alive for 2 dragons and a Laquatus, and then turn 2 animate it with an Animate Dead.
Okay.
And it turns out that sucks, and that's very slow. But that's what I planned on doing for a while.
That was the
plan.
plan.
And then the format opened up with all of the proxies, and as I became not broke and had a job pretty consistently, I was able to collect some things. I had a fair bit of a collection. Sold out once, bought back in, sold out again, bought back in, kind of. So that's kind of about my Magic career. And I've been traveling with these guys from Ohio, these idiots, for probably 20 years at this point, 25 years. No, 20 years? Probably 20 years.
Right on. So, let's talk a little bit about TSIs and the land TSI in particular. Let's talk about first your guys' journey out to the land. So we'll start with you, Eric. What was your journey like, or what was like day of? We're talking like, say, how did you get out to the land?
Usually in previous lands, it's always been a race against work, basically. I get out of work usually around 5, and then I just sprint out there and hope I make it in time. This year I decided to take the day off. I just recently bought a van in the last year. My plan is to build it out and sort of have it as like a weekender or / living arrangement in the future, potentially. But right now it's just a van. It's just 4 white walls and 4 black walls on the inside. And it barely runs. It's failed every E-check it's ever done. It doesn't have real plates. It's got temp tags on it. I got to take it to a mechanic actually Saturday. But I wanted to sleep in it. I wanted to give it a shot. I didn't want to put up a tent. I sort of kind of saw that it was going to maybe rain or drizzle, so I didn't want to deal with any of that. Last year, I tried to put up a bug net hammock, and the bug net completely snapped off the hammock when I tried to sit in it, so I had to sleep in L shape in the back of my VW Golf, which I am not small, but I'm not large. Yeah. But even still, as a 5'11" man, it was uncomfortable. I vowed never again. And so Friday, a lot of the Austin guys and a lot of the guys sort of just showed up who would like show up on Thursday, Friday morning. We all sort of coagulate together for Thursday night at the bar in Lakewood, and then Friday everybody gets together, and we decided to go to lunch about halfway between me and my van where it sits right now. And so went down to Slyman's, had lunch there, and then I drove down to my van, transferred all my stuff over to the van, and then drove out to the land. And it drove beautifully. It didn't have any issues, no problems. It has no power going up hills, but it was great.
So you got passed by some horse buggies, is what you're saying on the way there?
Absolutely, yep. If I had to go up like a 5% incline, the thing would go down to 45 miles an hour on the highway, and so it was bad. But I was able to get it up to speed and keep it up to speed. But it just hasn't. It's mechanical. That's something I got to work on.
Nice. Okay. Excellent. So you get out to the land at around 6, I think, just when we're starting to start middle school.
Yeah.
Duane, talk to us about your journey Friday I think you had Andy
yes.
as a passenger, maybe.
Oh, yeah. The trip out for the land starts very similar to a lot of the trips that I end up in Ohio. It's about 3 hours away is basically what I have to pencil in for how far it's going to take for me to get to Columbus or Cleveland or whatever. So the land is like, I think, 20 or 30 minutes longer than that. For the land, I always take the day off because I want to get there early because there's so much friendship and camaraderie on the first night. And really, the TSI tradition is that most people go hard the first night and then the second night is more of a recovery day.
Right.
So I want to get there early and have fun and have a good time. And yeah, for it's like sort of a tradition now. The last 2 or 3 years, I would pick up Brassman, Andy Probasco, from his flight coming into DTW, and then we drive down there and we talk about magic and life and friendship and cool stuff. But this year was a little bit unusual because I had a different car. I had this Ford Fiesta, the party wagon, that I bought from Kevin Ponish years ago. He bought it new, and then when he moved away to Chicago, he didn't want to store the damn thing or pay for, car insurance in Chicago. So he sold it to me when he left. So I owned this car now for 7-ish years. And Kevin goes on his journey, and he came back this last year to Ann Arbor. He's like, well, I'm really looking for a car. And I've moved in with my girlfriend, and I don't need 2 cars. And she really loves her car, this Honda Fit that is great. And so I sold Kevin his car back to him. And so the plan was we were all just going to ride down in the party wagon together. And, it's fine. It's no big deal. But Kevin had some complications with his work schedule, and he couldn't get there until Saturday. So Brassman and I drove my girlfriend's Honda Fit down there and, had a great time. Like I said, 3.5 hours, nice scenic drive. Down the turnpike because my budget is bigger than $30 these days.
Now you can afford that toll,
that luxury.
You might be able to get a stop at a Jimmy John's on the way down.
Oh yeah, I can pay someone for a meal.
Oh my goodness! I'm not eating bagged nuts out of a pint.
Yeah. It's just like. The Team Series events are always really weird to me. This is sort of an aside. I'm sorry, I go off on sort of a tangent here.
Yeah, you're fine. You go ahead.
One of my favorite things about going to these events back in the day, all the way up until a few years ago when I stopped going to the Team Series Opens, when they stopped being as common, the pandemic pretty much. But anyway, the funniest thing to me of going to these Opens is seeing all these guys, Trogdon, Duane, Jerry, like all these guys would be playing with this beautiful beta power, and all of the events were like minimum 10 proxies, and you'd just play against these guys and like, oh wow, you have at that time, oh look at all this beta power, you've got 3 pieces of beta power on the board right now, and then they just have random proxied, like $10 cards, like they'd have a Batterskull proxied next to their beta Lotus, and it's just like, come on guys.
So those are hard to find. You couldn't find it. It's easier, you had that Lotus for a long time, but Batterskull just came out. It's like,
yeah, man, they had like $250 in a Mox Pearl. I mean, come on, what do you expect?
Yeah. So anyway, Kevin did make it down, and so the party wagon did show up, which was really funny to me, is that it showed up the next day. But
nice.
Brassman and I. We left. We left about 1:00 our time. I picked him up from the airport. I picked up my box of MH3, and we headed down. And then we rolled in about 4:00, and then it was time to see all our friends.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. We're here at the land. We're getting into middle school time. I'm delaying because people are going to be showing up right at 6:00, and I always put. I intend to try to start at 5, but again, like people aren't going to get there right at 5. And
this is the old party trick of you put the start time 2 hours before you want people to actually show up.
Shh, Eric, don't give away my.
Hey, no, that's how I set up all my Halloween parties as a young buck.
This is how the TSOs actually happened. Is we tried for years to start at noon, but we have habitual people that would show up an hour late. So pretty soon the tournaments just starting at 1 because no one was going to be there before 1 anyway. So,
right, yeah. So I want to talk a little bit about middle school. We won't go a ton into it, but I do have a couple questions. My first question is, Eric, what did you play? I don't think I have your list still.
You don't, actually. I have to give that to you at the end of this. I played a little brew. I've been wanting to expand more on the John Hammack control decks. For any of you that don't know, it's like John Hammack is a control master. And I think I want to say like the very first online middle school tournament that we all played in during the pandemic.
Yes.
He 5-0'd
TSI
on a
VR.
single day tournament. Yeah, right. TSI
Yes.
VR.
Yes.
He crushed a 5-round Magic tournament with probably 30 to 31 people in it with a deck that was completely gold border. He decided to make a control deck using only gold border cards, and it was phenomenal. Amazing. And it showcased a lot of the slower, more control-y aspects of middle school that I don't necessarily like in something like a Landstill deck or some other control version. It plays very counter-heavy, very refill the hand, very card advantage-y. So it's got 4 AKs, a ton of Factor Fictions. Fire Ice was a big component of it. And I love that style of deck. You just do nothing until your opponent's end step. And the idea behind his deck was that he was going to get to 12 lands and then Urza's Rage you twice. Awesome. Super cool. We played it in an online league, me, Raj, and I think 2 other people. That was a ton of fun. But, he's only got the Grixis version, so I started messing around with a Jeskai version with Absorbs instead of Undermines and Goblin Trenches instead of Urza's Rages and stuff like that. And then I was thinking of I was looking through all of my multicolored cards in my box, and I came across my extra play set of Undermines and my 4 Mystic Snakes that are right next to each other. And I'm like, ooh, those both say counter target spell. Did you know that? They both say counter spell on them.
It sounds like a jerk move to me.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, well, those are the same colors as Pernicious Deed, too. So I'm like, I'm already 6 to midnight. It's already happening. And so I basically threw it together in the John Hammack control shell of 24 lands, 36 spells, and 16 counter spells and all this stuff.
Wow.
It turns out that I screwed up the mana base. The deck historically has been like very Painland heavy because they're 3-color decks and you can't get away from it really.
Mana is really bad in middle school. It's like it's one of the defining characteristics of the format.
It's the feature of the format. Yeah. So how did you mess it up, Eric? How did you mess it up specifically?
Well, the main thing is I wanted to try out a tainted mana base with reflecting pools because reflecting pool still taps for the tainted colors. Even if you don't have a swamp.
Even if the tainted isn't turned on. Okay.
Yeah, which I personally don't think is right or real, and I will fight to death over it. But whatever.
But I'll make a deck based on that fact.
Yeah, I'll exploit it. Sure. Yeah. Or, exploit early, exploit often. I think that's the goal.
Okay.
So that was my plan, and then it just turns out that I screwed up. It wasn't enough black to do the tainted mana base. Do things. I just was.
How did you kill people? How did you kill people with just the Nether Spirit? Did you have treetop villages?
No, I had 4 Call of the Herd. I had 4 Mystic Snake, and I had 3 Shadow Mage Infiltrator, and that was it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you're drawing cards.
Do the thing. Yeah.
Drawing cards. Playing a little Factor Fiction. Playing a little counter spell. I just after playing around with Call of the Herd. I think that countering a spell and putting a 2/2 into play is still. I mean, that's kind of pretty good too. I mean, for 4 mana,
pretty good for 4 mana. It's a lot.
You do that twice in 2 turns, and it's like turn 4, turn 5.
The tempo is pretty good if you do it twice. I guess.
I don't know. I still think there's something there. I got to screw out the mana base a bit, but it was fun when I was able to cast things I wanted to cast. But there's a lot of times where I would play like Polluted Delta into land. Into a swamp for my tainted land and have counterspell in hand. And just all right, well, I'm an idiot.
Yeah. What are you going to do?
Yeah, so I went 0-3 drop.
Yeah. Okay, that's okay.
In middle school.
It's okay.
I had fun. It was a great time.
You had to play Angelo's deck. That deck was dumb.
He had to discard down to 7 from 11 cards in hand, 3 turns in a row.
What a boss.
Gush is a hell of a drug, yeah.
Gush, double Curiosity on a 1/1. It's
Yeah.
Oh, Curiosity is such a fun card.
And then it turns out when you draw all those cards, you can discard foil and have daze and force
Still had all these.
and gush it all. Yeah. It was just a all-you-can-F buffet for sure.
No, I don't. Do I have Josh's list? Pergoa's list? Your round 2 was against.
Our game lasted 4 turns. He went turn 2 Stifle Knot with Force Backup for my
he was blue-white
Smother.
Stifle Knot. Okay, yeah.
And then I took 1 hit and I drew a Smother, and then I drew another card, and then I was able to go for it again, and then he had a daze for it, so that was not great. And then
brutal.
game 2, on the draw, he went turn 2 Stifle Knot with Force Backup, and I died.
Okay.
Very
Yeah.
uneventful. My round, I basically sat down and stood right back up in 3 minutes.
It stood right back up. All right, and then the last one, I want to ask if you remember what Chapel was playing, or maybe Duane, you know what Chapel's deck was.
No idea. Oh,
That
yeah,
was-
never mind.
No.
He usually plays his Madness deck.
He's had a
Madness. I
foiled
played
out
him.
Mad-
Okay, yeah, I played him. Yeah. It's foiled out Madness deck that doesn't have Force of Will. Like, I was
No
going
Force of
off, and he's
Will.
like, yeah, I don't have Force of Will.
He has Aether Burst in the main,
Yeah.
which is a card you guys should all look up. That card
Go
rules.
look it up.
Yeah. Limited All-Star, Aether Burst.
So, Duane, we know you as a colorless aficionado. We know, or I know, that you play Black-Green Spiritmonger in middle school. Talk to me a little bit. Explain why that is your deck choice for middle school.
Oh, well, this sort of ties back into me starting Magic. Like,
Okay.
I started playing Magic in 2004 with my buddy who had a bunch of decks that he liked to play, and so we just take his decks and play them against each other. So he had a nice, like a Sliver deck and a blue artifact deck, and he had this Spiritmonger deck, which is Blow Up the World deck, and that was my first deck. So I figured out what I wanted and started putting that together, and that's what I played for
Okay.
a while. Like, it was my proto deck. But that is, to me, the deck that I think of when I think of my first summer playing Magic. So
Is Spiritmonger blow up the world?
yeah,
That was my extended deck growing up.
yeah,
too.
he's so good. He's 5 mana. He's a 6/6, and he has abilities. Like, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
There's no downside. It was so impossibly rare to find a creature with more power than mana cost with no downside.
Yeah, yeah.
I actually don't think many of my middle school decks can beat a Resolve Spiritmonger. I mean, you went like one, like I think you went 0-2
I
with
went-
a bye or something. Then
Yeah,
dropped,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I
But-
played against good decks.
I respect the Spiritmonger for sure.
So the only thing I'll say about my deck is it is not tuned. I'm running
Okay,
4
okay.
Pernicious Deeds. I'm running 4 Neverdrawl's Discs for maximum blowing up the worldage.
Yeah.
I've got Birds
Yeah.
of Paradise. I got Rancor because what makes Spiritmonger better? Trample makes Spiritmonger better.
Trample.
Which, like, I've killed a bunch of people in middle school with angry birds, like putting 1 or 2 rankers on a bird for the last, few points of damage.
Just flying in. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's not that great. I couldn't fill it out with the cards that I really used to play because it was a 3-color deck. There was also white in it back in the day. But as I mentioned earlier, like, mana is so bad in middle school that doing one set of enemy colors is pretty brutal, black and green. But trying to add another set it's just really rough. So I had to cut all the white cards, and it's like,
maybe you'll go 0-3 again.
yeah, just do
with
it.
me. Yeah.
So I had to replace those cards with other cards. So I'm looking to see, what other cards make the rock good? It's like, well, I guess I should put some duress in here. I guess I should put Cabal Therapy in here. And it's just like these cards that I hated. I had to just fill out the deck and put them in. Just turn out to be the best cards in the deck. Like the only reason I win matches is because of these black like discard interactive cards.
You duress them on turn 1 and knew what they had, and then we're able to play.
Then
the
turn
right
2,
after.
you cabal therapy them. And then if you've got your Bird of Paradise in play and they've got a bunch of juicy cards, you just, you blow them into the
shred their
the
hand.
Shadow Realm with the double Cabal therapy. But that's the deck. It's really not very good, but it's fun. Like to see people's face when you cast. Like as you mentioned, like there's not a lot of good answers to Spirit Monger in the format. Like he never goes away. He cannot die. He regenerates.
Right, yeah. Swords is if you're not playing against the swords, and again, that's what I like about middle school. There's a wide enough card pool that, like, in this, we're playing 5 rounds of Magic here. Like, I don't know. Did you play against the swords deck?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I played against.
That's what ended your day.
Yeah.
Early.
Oh yeah, like I played against White Blue, who in one game he swords 2 of my Spirit Mongers, and then Wrath of God, my third one, I think.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Like it's just like, oh, okay, you're playing white, you have all the answers, so it was not a fun day for me. I like to play against a bit of variety in the format, and I played 2 blue permission decks in a row, which I'm assuming is just the best decks in the format.
Well, Tim's deck was Stifle Knot deck. Did he actually kill you with Dreadnought?
Yep, he killed me with Dreadnought twice. I did take a game off of him, but that was the game that I Cabal therapied 3 Dreadnoughts out of his hand, which was pretty good.
That had to feel good. That had to feel good.
Yeah. He's like, well, I've got one more win condition, so we'll see if I draw it. And I think Riverboa got there before he did, or something. I don't know, but it was a lot. It was fun. I just my deck wasn't doing what it was supposed to be doing, and I ran out of energy.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of fun stuff in middle school. One shining spot of playing against blue decks is I get to do Factor Fiction piles, which I love stacking Factor Fiction piles.
That's interesting. Okay. Do you feel like you're better at it because of your vintage experience than most middle school players, or why do you like to do that?
I think so. It's you get a very immediate reaction of if you did a good job or not. You stack the piles and you hand it to them, and if they don't immediately smack your hand and grab one, you feel good. They have to think about it,
Right,
yeah.
Like you did good.
Like,
and they're giving you some option to play, get some agency in the game. Right?
Yes.
I like Factor Fiction also. I'm bad at it. I think I'm not very good at making the piles. I think.
Oh, I agree. I'm not saying I'm good at it. I'm just saying,
okay.
It's fun. It's a fun thing. Like
it's a fun part. Yeah. I didn't see any super interesting or super fun decks, I guess. I saw Reanimator.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Allurin. I was playing Dragon. I did meh. I'll give a shout out to Chad. Like, Chad gave me, like, several actually phases in our game. I was like, well, why don't I pretend like I cast this first? And he's like, well, does that make you win? I'm like, yeah. He's like, okay, sure.
Yeah.
He's like, he's like, well, you had it in your hand, right? I'm like, yeah. He's like, okay, you're hosting. So shout out to Chad. Thank you for giving me one of my wins.
I gotta tell you, Raj, after that game, he walked out to me and he just threw his cards on the table. He's like,
Just cursing.
I can't believe he actually phased me out of the game.
Oh, phasing.
He had the red deck, right? So it's like it wasn't like he was doing anything, right? He was just like, okay, well, let's pretend like you played. Let's pretend you're good, and then you played correctly. Like, does that kill me? I'm like, yeah. He's like, okay, that's fine. So I like to pretend that I play that way too. Like, let's pretend both of us played optimally. What would happen?
Yeah. Let's pretend we're not 3 in the bag already, and just like.
Well, right. So that's what I was going to transition to. But after round 3, both of you guys exit. Both you guys exit middle school.
Yep.
What are you guys into? Just hanging out, drinking, chatting. Do you guys swim on Friday night? Where you hit the food truck? Let's talk about the food truck now.
Swimming is a sore subject. Let's avoid that for as long as possible. All right.
Okay, we'll stay away from the swimming. Let's talk about the food truck.
That food truck was amazing. Throughout the evening, I ate 3 different of their sandwiches, and they were all fantastic.
Yeah, I had 2 sandwiches and the street corn and the green chili, and they were all amazing.
The sandwich truck is Tort'Amo. It is a Mexican sandwich truck. And when they were out at the land two lands ago. And when I first saw their ad, I thought, okay, Mexican sandwiches, is that not a taco? But it is not a taco. Sandwich Punch agrees that tacos are not sandwiches, I think, right? And
unless they're listed under a sandwich menu.
Right. So all of the sandwiches on this truck are listed on an explicit sandwich menu.
Shit.
I had the asada, and I also had and that was greened and spiced. So the greens, it was just like green chilies, so like raw green jalapeno chilies. It was amazing. Those awesome. But the thing that I missed out on, I think, is I should have gone harder on the eggplant. So the eggplant sandwich was like a fried eggplant cutlet with all the regular sandwich stuff on it. That was probably the best sandwich I had, was the eggplant one, even though there's no protein. Yeah, it was probably the best one I had. So Tort'Amo, I thought, was really good. They were really happy with how their night went, and I hope everyone was stuffed. I actually saw, I will slap some hands, I saw some sandwiches that were ordered and then not consumed. So
yeah, we may have to have a airing of grievances at the end of this for
yeah, absolutely.
lack of beating. I have to call out one person in particular later about that.
Slops for the ordering a sandwich and not consuming it, because I would have eaten it. I definitely would have eaten it.
Yeah, Tort'Amo was very good.
Oh yeah.
So these sandwiches laying around, did any of them get punched?
I think we're at a point in our life that Sandwich Punch is a gentleman's handshake now. Instead of actually punching the sandwich, you sit down next to them, you grab them by the shoulder, you look them in the eye, and you say, "Your sandwich is uncovered, right?" And then, and then you get up and walk away.
Yeah.
Because we're old now, we got nice clothes on, we got you don't really want to wreck everything.
The last couple sandwich punches that I've done have been more like sandwich knuckle imprint. You just squish, give it a little squish. Yeah.
Just so they know. Just so they know. Like, you could have. Just
minimal damage, but maximum stick it to you,
Yeah.
Right.
The only person whose sandwich that I will still obliterate is Kevin Ponish, because he just looks so sad every time it happens.
Oh man, poor Kevin. Oh,
yeah,
poor Kevin.
I love him. I love that guy.
Yeah, I think the food truck overall was well received, and it allowed me to not have to really do anything on Friday in terms of cooking. I have tried to think about how we can do some kind of food truck for lunch on Saturday, but just the schedule is really weirdly compressed. So yeah.
How about I stick this out there and we call up that Frozen Delight and see if they do a truck.
Ooh, that's a good idea. How was that?
That place was great.
That place is good. It's like that had to be some kind of old Dairy Queen or something, right? Like that shape of the building.
They're only open seasonally anyways.
They're like a Dairy Queen. It's like.
But I got a bomb patty melt from them and great fries.
The truck we had last year was kind of a jack of all trades truck, and that was good. I liked that a lot.
The other mission that we had on Friday was to do a draft of MH3, because that was the first day it was legal.
Yes. So were you able to do that? Did you get a draft together? I thought that happened.
We sure did.
We got a draft together before 11 p.m., which is usually the traditional TSI drafting time. If you want to get 8 people that will half-heartedly draft and then not want to play any of their games, they usually start around 11. But we managed to get it started, like 8 or 9, I forget. We got 6 people, and we cracked a bunch of packs, and I made the worst draft deck that I've ever made, which is saying something because I'm awful at drafting generally. But we had a lot of fun. But the mission was to open a bunch of packs to see if we could get cards for Vintage the next day. I was looking for baubles.
Right. Vexing Bauble.
Yeah.
All-Star. And did you find them?
No, we opened about 40 packs. Like, we were opening up rares. We found, like, at least one of the mythic land that will let you make 2 mana if you exile something. Like, we were finding mythics for Eldrazi Tribe, but we could not find a single uncommon Vexing Bauble in 40. I think we opened 40 packs.
Wow. So it's a chase uncommon is what you're telling us.
Right, yeah. Which, if you're drafting, you don't really want to open it because I think it sucks in draft, but, like,
I think it kind of sucks in draft.
Yeah.
It draws a card.
Hey, it triggers a Fleshraker, I guess.
Yeah,
Fleshraker. Get a Fleshraker trigger.
Someone drafted a Fleshraker. I don't remember who. Was it you, Caffrey?
That was me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how was that in draft? How was that in draft?
It was very good.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Well, I coupled it with the Kozilek's Unraveling, where if you cast a 4, 5, or 6, you get a 2 01s.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
And then you had a couple of those dudes that get bigger when you sacrifice things, right?
Yeah, and I had a couple of the Walking Chrysalises, I think they're called. The 4-mana 3/3 that comes into play with 2 01 spawn tokens. So, like, in one turn, I just domed him for 5 and had 4 sack outlets to make my dudes enormous. It was good.
Pretty good.
Just doming. Yeah, okay. So who won that draft? Did you guys end up being able to finish it, or it didn't matter because you didn't open any bubbles?
I stopped 2 rounds in.
You stopped 2 rounds in.
Yeah, I beat Duane and then I quit.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So I'll talk a little bit about the official side format. I don't think you guys were participating in the Ante decks.
I was not.
Eric, I don't think you had a deck either, did you?
I don't, but after watching all you guys play on Thursday and then Saturday, I am absolutely making a deck.
Okay,
so,
excellent.
Look the hell out.
All right, so I'll just give a little shout out to my partners in the Ohio Ante, the coalition, if you will. Angelo, Steven, Bernie was there, Kyle was not there, but basically we made these other stupid cards to make playing Alpha 2 Alliances Ante up the power level, but mostly to Ante more cards. Yeah, it was pretty fun. I lost a bunch of cards on Thursday. Also on Friday, I lost several cards. And I didn't win except for 1 card on Saturday. I did win. So let me transition us to talk about deck choice.
Sure.
We're on Friday. You guys, I think, had already locked in your decks at this point. So, Duane, talk to me about what the deck you ended up playing and maybe kind of like the flow chart of how you ended there.
For years now, I've been playing workshop decks. I think I alluded to that earlier. Starting with all of the mana denial decks, all the way up until my boy, Lodestone Golem, was unjustly restricted. And after that, it became very, very difficult for a workshop deck to actually be a prison deck. So once that happened, I started working on the best aggro decks that I could make with the limited mana disruption that was available. And slowly over time, those decks have just gotten worse and worse as more and more hate has been printed. Force of Vigor is just such a beating. Beside You, Who Shelters All.
My favorite.
Yeah, starting with Collector Roof, basically, since Collector Roof.
Oh, yeah.
It's just stacked up on top
just
of it.
Absolutely brutal. At some point, I just started giving up on the aggro sense and started my best trying to build colorless combo decks. If I can't beat them to death by turn 3.5 or 4, maybe I can combo them to death on turn 1 or 2 or 1.5, And so for years, I've been tinkering around with Time Vault Key and Koldatha Forge Master and Metalworker Staff, all these fun little combos that are easily disruptible and don't work together. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you can fall back to making some big dudes and get there. But really, they're just real not great, just meme decks. But they're fun. A lot more fun than playing one sphere and then a couple dudes and then getting Hercules recalled and then PO'd for 10,000. So the natural evolution of this led me to a point where I was getting pretty disheartened. And then I saw a video that was published by one of the gentlemen that came to the TSI, Justin Gennari. He posted a video with this neat little card called Smelting Vat, a card I had not seen before because it was snuck into one of these commander
it's like
supplements?
in a Brothers War Commander, I think, or something.
Because I mean, I love Wizards, but Wizards does all sorts of wacky things, and now they're printing so many cards. I love artifacts. I try to follow every artifact that gets printed, but this just got away from me because I didn't know.
Super wild. Yeah, that was one I was just like, Duane didn't know about this card. That's wild.
Yeah. So Justin publishes this video playing a colorless Smelting Vat list, and his first game, he's up against the Bazaar deck that plays no mana and a bunch of pitch spells, and it makes hollow ones and Vengevines and whatever. And so the notorious thing that deck does is it just throws like a bunch of power on play for free for turn 0, and then has some free spells to go along with it if you try to interact with them. So
the counter your thing first thing at least.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, or Force of Vigor or whatever. So he's playing this deck, and he gets matched up against this deck, and they won the die roll, and they put into power. I think they put in power 2 Vengevine and a hollow one and a couple, the 1/1
Root Wallace. Yeah.
So he's facing lethal, and he's looking at his hand. And he's like, well, I have some mana, but if we draw we're dead unless we draw the One Ring. And he rips the One Ring off the top and plays that.
Okay.
And he plays some mana, and he plays some keys, voltaic or manifold keys, and draws more cards, and draws the One Ring, which gives you protection. So all of that power on the other side of the board is just meaningless. And he ends up winning this game, staring at lethal at 12 because of the hasty Vengevines, and he just wins. And I immediately fall in love with this deck. This is now my deck.
So the One Ring is really like, you were just like, yeah, this is the artifact. This is the one artifact, right? Like this, it held everything together, right?
The problem with workshop combo decks up until that point, big haymaker workshop decks, is that other decks don't care about your cards. If something is threatening them, they'll counter it or they'll blow it up. So you really wanted to hit this critical mass of haymakers that, okay, that got countered, I'll play this, and this will threaten to end a vintage game, which is a very high bar to clear because they don't care. Unless their life hits 0, so many of the decks in vintage do not care what you're doing. The One Ring gets printed, and it turns out the One Ring is a haymaker in vintage. If you resolve that card in a deck that has a bunch of voltaic keys, unless they're gonna win somehow through your protection on their turn, this is a thing that they have to care about.
Right.
So now there's a full play set of these One Rings along with a Smelting Vat, which obviously is a haymaker that has to be countered. The long story short here is that this combo deck came together, and I've been working on it for a year or 2 years now, and I've been tinkering with it, trying to improve it, and it's a bit fickle because you have to have the proper threat density as well as the ability to play the threats, and that kind of becomes irksome. In the last couple tournaments that I went to for Team Serious, the deck would run 4 defense grids, and at the last 2 tournaments that I'd go to, and Rajah, I know you personally suffered from defense grid doing awful things to you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, the HSI last year. Oh my gosh, I forget what it was. You had to defense grid turn 1, or it was just like a sequence where. Yeah, it was a sequence where even if I had countered the defense grid, I didn't have a counter for the next things, and I was going to die, basically.
And that's been my experience with defense grid, is that this is a 2 mana spell that you play on turn 1, and defense grid becomes a haymaker, because if defense grid resolves, your next threat is almost guaranteed to resolve. and it's going to be the One Ring or a Smelting Vat or a Karn Great Creator or a Mystic. I think in our game it was the Mystic Forge. I had the turn 1 defense grid, which even if you killed it, I still had a Mystic Forge, which was just going to go nuts. I was telling people at the end of the tournament, if I could run 8 defense grids, I would. Because at worst, it's a 2-mana Hymn to Torok. The opponent, if they've got a force, they're going to use it. Because when else are they going to use it?
Right. Well, Jimmy's deck, Jimmy said, "Oh, I don't care about defense grid." Most decks care about defense grid, though, because
yes.
They're not playing only on your turn.
Yeah, well, I mean, the idea here is that maybe you don't counter defense grid because eventually you're going to have 3 mana, and then you can just pay the cost to force a will. But if you're playing against a combo deck that's going to try to kill you, you might not make it.
You don't make it to that point. Yeah, of course. Of course.
So at the end of this tournament, like I'm saying, I would play 8 of these if I could. And then the MH3 rolls around, and there's a nice little artifact that they printed, which is called Vexing Bauble. And it basically does the job that Defense Grid does for VAT, but better. It makes all of the forces uncastable. Anything that's cost 0 mana, or anything that has paid 0 mana for, gets countered. If you play it on turn 1, you get all their mana artifacts. If you play it after turn 1, you turn off all their pitch magic. We found that card, and that just locked me in. I'm playing VAT, and this is almost a straight upgrade to a card that I already loved. The only hard part was trying to figure out how to fit in these cards. And that pretty much locked me on the deck, and then there was some finagling with another card, which is kind of cool. But we can, if you want, we can talk about that card a bit later.
Well, I'll just interject. I was looking for a deck. I'm not good at building decks. I'll say that straight up. So I need someone to give me an almost fully formed idea. I might be able to make some tweaks or to my play style, change some cards, but I basically had landed on trying to use new cards. So I was thinking of playing Oops All Spells with the new shock lands.
Sure, yeah.
Get more consistency with that.
Yeah, that's an upgrade. Yeah, for sure.
I was really concerned about Vexing Bauble, basically turning off and ruining my day, because that deck cannot play Vexing Bauble because it needs to Dread Return to win. And Vexing Bauble, while it could be cool, then you would need an extra mana basically on your go off turn. Like, so you need to play Bauble, then be able to sack it in order to do your Dread Return, which then opens you up to counter spells. So like, it basically didn't work with that deck. So I looked around for a deck that it could work in, and I was thinking about something like Golos.
Sure, yeah.
And then I thought of Smelting Vat, and I was like, the Two Tops deck basically was where I was thinking I wanted to land on. So I just basically wanted someone to have a reasonable list and hand it to me. And between like you and Jimmy, I thought I wanted my decision point was honestly, I want to play more new cards. That was basically the decision point.
Yeah.
There. So
yeah. And Jimmy, he was in a similar mindset where he was trying to figure out how to play as many new cards in the same list as he could. But he identified the other card. I think we mentioned it a little bit earlier. This card, Glaring Fleshraker, which is an uncommon 3-mana Eldrazi, which just does unholy things to your opponent if you have a Sensei's Top.
Yeah, it's actually insane. Like Turbo Fleshrakers feels like a deck I'm going to look at for probably the next TSO or something like that.
Well, Zias online on Twitter mentioned also, he was playing the Two Tops in a deck with Patchwork Automaton.
Yeah, and Foundry Inspector.
The Foundry Inspector.
Foundry Inspector.
So you could play like a similar deck. You could jam those together potentially.
Yep.
Yes.
Playing,
that's where my starting point is.
And so then you could have infinite big dude to attack or infinite ping, so you get like more value off having double top essentially.
And I'm gonna reach back into my vault of hardened scales tricks and start playing Ancient Stirrings also.
Ancient Stirrings, okay.
Yeah, it's colorless cards and not artifact cards, so you can get lands or Fleshraker or
Fleshraker. Okay.
And if you're in green, like. We're getting real close to the realm of poop here, but at the risk of that, At risk
where I
of
live,
falling
baby.
off the line into the realm of poop. In this MH3, they printed a bunch of really interesting green Eldrazi's as well. So if you're running green, you have some more interesting options to go along with it.
The Sowing
I
Micah
really like
spawn
the
was the
idea
one we
of
were
playing
looking at.
Besaju in shops.
Yeah, running
like-
beside you
that's what-
is
That's what
really
put me
nice
down
in shops.
the trail of hardened scales, but just playing 4 Besaju and just like an aggro shops build was like the starting point for me to play that.
I'll just close out my deck choice with I had the white deck with the new
Mhm.
cards in the white deck as well.
Oh yeah, that's good.
And then I flipped a coin and it came up as colorless choice, so I stayed with that. So Eric, can you tell us about your deck prep or lack
No.
of, or
Yeah, lack of. I have not liked vintage meta for a while now. I'm starting to come around on the idea that like Luris is the best deck. I kind of like that. I think there's a lot of choice and decision making that comes with that. I think it's a bit repetitive and very I don't like what
Deterministic.
Urza Saga does to the format, so I don't like the play around the format based around that. So I my vintage playing has gone down since Champs. When I literally the Sunday we all left Champs, I went to Superscript in Lakewood and bought $700 in Warhammer and just have infested my 6-foot table in my living room with just orcs to paint. So vintage has kind of taken a big side, not really thought about it too often. When I played at the Hazard Invitational, I thought null rods were pretty good, so I looked up a deck, and turns out there was a mono white Workshops deck with 8 null rods. So I'm like, sweet, I'm printing that, playing that.
Seems
done.
reasonable.
Went okay. I think I played 3-2 in that one. That was all right. But anymore, I don't actively play vintage, so it's more of like what feels the best, or I will play in the poop and like my deck choices 2 years ago at the land were 80 card Yorion Eldrazi mono white initiative.
Spicy.
Your
Pardon.
Eldrazi initiative. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
you're
classic
not-
deck. It's well
A
known.
classic. One for the ages. Turns out that if a 60 card initiative deck is good, it does not get better by adding 20 non-initiative cards.
Bigger is not better?
Turns out. But the idea of like having Containment Priest and Displacer plus Initiative for like the stalemates against initiative things. I mean, it's got like cool things to think about and do, but you just never get there. It's just unfortunate.
Yeah.
So my vintage piles of printed decks are all pretty much garbage. I do really like the Jewel Shops deck when it first came out, but it's I feel like a hipster playing it. Like, it's so fleshed out and so many people know how to play it that like me putting it on the table, I just would not be good at it. Same with the Luris deck that I've got.
So you
I think it would
couldn't
be
play
good.
those decks because, it's like you liked them before they were cool, and now they're too cool. You can't play those decks. So those
Well,
decks
and
are out
it's-
the window.
My inexperience with playing vintage in the year that they have been popular and played means that I am basically the rogue deck player playing an established archetype against people who have jammed a bajillion games against Jewel Shops.
So you're
It's
just going to
so-
play a good deck badly, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
Like, you
right.
wanna do that.
I mean, granted, it would have let me get in the pool on Saturday, so I probably should have, but
Hell yeah, brother.
the Wednesday before we decided to go, I just went through MTG Goldfish. I went to Vintage. I hit the more button. Went all the way down, and I saw this mono red, mono 3 drops. There was a joke in our group chat about Jimmy trying to play a deck and harkening back to the years of old where he would play 4 Chromox mono red goblins. And we were kind of joking about, somebody playing a deck with 4 Chrome Mox, and what do I know? I pick up this deck on MTG Goldfish, and it has 4 Chrome Mox and 8 Blood Moons in it. So I'm like, yeah, all right, I'm in. Whatever. Click download, click print, make a deck. go print it out at a FedEx. I think Thursday night. Friday, don't really think about it too much. It's still uncut, laying in my pile of stuff in my van, hanging out. I was gonna try and cut it in secrecy, but I realized I don't care. Then Saturday morning, woke up, decided to start cutting it at the table outside, having breakfast. Played a little bit of test games with it. That's usually where my test games start, is 30 minutes before the tournament starts.
Yeah, baby.
And so I was playing against Paul, pork chop sandwiches himself, playing a very interesting... He was trying to make the colored Eldrazi deck work with the new Modern Horizons Eldrazi.
Yeah, he was running the red one, Eldrazi Linebreaker.
Which I think is probably not too bad in a format that's not as powered as Vintage. But in Vintage, it's probably too slow.
Yeah.
But it looked good. I mean, it had some pretty fast draws. Where he hit me for 4 and then 12 in 2 turns. But it was like still turn 4, so I still beat him.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then I was I was testing the deck. I mean, I was beating that deck because he kind of didn't have any other colorless sources to cast colorless creatures if I cast a Blood Moon. So it was kind of just going through the motions of seeing what hands to keep and what hands to throw away. And then I almost threw the deck out entirely and played one of my old decks because I didn't realize that the boast mechanic on the Bombardiers guy is an actual ability that allows you to do the ability, rather than it being something like a D&D sort of flavor buzzword.
Yeah. Boast actually means
an
something.
actual mechanic.
Yes.
It means something. It's anytime after that creature attacks. You can do the colon ability, but only once per turn, but it's not... None of that text is anywhere on the card. So it just has a colon ability that lets you sack any artifact or creature and deal its converted mana cost +2 to any target. So, here I am thinking, I'm putting this together for the first time, using that as, my final attack for 8 and then sack to do 15 to somebody. And then somebody walks over and is like, hey, that's not how that works. And I'm like, oh, I'm just going to go play 8 garage shops. I'm done. I can't, I'm not going to do this. But I started drinking and started eating, hung out, and that was the only deck that was around. I still had my playmat underneath it. And then that ended up being the deck that I played round 1 with. And then the rest is history.
So, Eric, just let's suffice to say you grabbed a deck from Goldfish. Did you make any changes to the deck, or was it just straight ganked?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't play this format. I'm here to hang out with dudes. I am so on the verge of not playing Vintage and just being a dude that I kind of am just doing it for the love of the game, as it were. Even though I don't, whatever. I don't know. I'm a confused man, okay?
All right. It's you can't get out. It's just you're trapped in magic.
Every time I want to, they pull me back in.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we have these decks set up. You guys are hanging out on Friday night. Exit the middle school a little early. Eating your sandwiches. Do you guys go super hard? How late do you guys go to bed on Friday?
I kind of screwed up. I should have been way more prepared for this, especially because I have a music festival coming up next weekend too, and I need to stay up way later. But I went to bed at 1:30 on Friday, and then basically immediately after finals on Saturday, 11:45. I was in my van early.
Really?
Yeah. He had a date with us in the hot tub, and then he never showed up.
I went to my van to go get my swim trunks, and I'm like, man, my cot, it looks real nice right now. And then I kind of just did that instead.
Just went to the
Sorry. I'm sorry I flaked.
It's okay.
I flaked on a 45-foot walk.
Yeah. On Friday, we went a little hard. I think I ended up drinking about, 6 or 7 beers, and then however many Jello shots people were forcing into me.
Heck yeah! All right,
Raj, you're making my Jello shots every year. Okay, you're making Jello shots.
Those are just gasoline. Those are so
those
gasoline.
are straight fire, and I love them.
I don't know how they were still.
I hated them at the time, but I love them.
Oh, I figured. I mean, I doing the math on it. They're 2-ounce Jello shots. So essentially, each of those was actually like a full shot of vodka. Like, that's how much vodka was in them. Yeah, like it was just under a full shot of vodka per of those. So like that's what caught up with Tribal. I think he's just going hard on those Jello shots. Not he's thinking they were like half strength maybe, but
I will say he is all that the land is to me. So some of those photos of like hardcore magic happening with just a man passed out on an air mattress while it's still daytime out is so seared in. I almost want to get that as a back tattoo. Like, I swear to God, I want that to be on my Christmas cards. I want that to be on every advertising that I do. I want that to be the next picture that you use as the ad for the Land 6.
Yes.
And there's already white space in the mattress where you can write all the text in it. It's a perfect photo. I don't know how else to say it. Shout out to Tribal. He lent me the Goblin token that won the tournament. So.
There you go. So Friday night, we all have our tents set up. We all head to the. My night ended quite a bit later. I stayed up quite a bit later, losing magic cards to people in Ante and then observing Ante. Basically, I was just really cranked up and hyped up from everyone being there, and the event was kicked off well. At this point, the food truck was good, so I couldn't lay down. Like I knew I wasn't going to be able to sleep, so I just needed to just get myself more tired. That ended up being like 3:30, 4 o'clock, and then I laid down. Morning came pretty quickly. The sun came. I don't know. I feel like when I got up. It's just basically the sun. Once the sun comes up, the tents get really hot, right?
Really? Absolutely. Yeah.
So you have to get up. It's like 7, 8 o'clock. You have to wake up, right? You can't.
Yeah, I was up by 9:30. I was able to sneak out a couple hours.
Yeah. I like to sleep on that beautiful screened-in porch.
Yes.
There's like a 10-minute window at about 7:30 where the sun comes up and isn't blocked by clouds. But after that, the sun gets hidden behind the clouds and you're laying on that cool concrete and you can sleep until about 9 or 9:30, which is pretty nice.
Ooh, that's a great play.
Perfect. Yes. It was pretty nice morning overall. We had nice weather, no rain Friday night.
God, I think this year's weather has been the best that I can remember.
It was very nice.
Getting
it was
lucky.
So perfect all day.
We keep getting
really
so
happened.
lucky.
Yeah.
Knock on wood. So I'll pause here to give the shout outs. So shout outs, Gina, Angela's wife. She brought us breakfast on
that was so good.
Saturday morning.
That egg casserole.
Egg bake, watermelon, bacon, perfect amount of stuff. I hope everyone did get breakfast. But again, it wasn't like super early, and it came at just the exact right time, I felt like.
We
had the proper coffee. I brought my coffee pot. I need the coffee. I need like 3 or 4 cups before I'm, vertical. And so that was perfect. Perfect coffee. And we did have a small snafu with the coffee pot, but again, we figured it out. We got another makeshift coffee pot and kept going.
Mm-hmm.
And then also give a shout out to my Uncle Dennis and my dad. They were there the night before helping out, and then they were cooking that evening on Saturday. And I also want to give a shout out, thank you to all the shrimp crew who started up a Saturday morning ish. As we got to get the shrimp going.
Shrimps is bugs.
Yeah, shrimp.
Shrimps is bugs.
So then also shout outs to everyone helping set up, clean up, everyone who's made donations. I needed to pause there to make sure I didn't forget those shout outs because I would get to the end of this and forget that. So
absolutely.
Thank you to everyone who helped.
Raj, your family is so amazing at helping out through the whole weekend and allowing us to do this. I'm like so grateful every single year that we're able to come out.
They're so gracious about it too. Like they are absolutely so nice to everybody, and they're just always just being perfect hosts.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys. I'll make sure they get that message too. Yeah, no, it's I I thank everyone who comes and gives their time and energy to make the event sweet. And like my uncle just loves the fact that to see us, kids to him, getting together and having fun. And I thank everyone for like cycling through too and telling them, letting them know, because definitely my uncle spends so much time on it, and he appreciates hearing the appreciation from all the crew. So shout outs to everyone who helped in any way. All right, so we get up Saturday morning. We had an awesome breakfast from Gina.
So good.
Everyone's kind of recovering, slowly waking up,
so hungover,
energizing in whatever way. Hungover, getting some vitamins. We had fruit, we had juice also there. Hopefully everyone's getting their vitamin B's pumped up.
Yeah.
I'm running around. I'm trying to think about when we're going to start the tournament, how we're going to start the tournament. And then immediately, as is always, we finish breakfast and I'm immediately like, okay, we got to get shrimp. We got to get lunch going. I'm still running around. I post the time that we're going to start the meeting for Vintage as noon. And based on that, Nat takes his cue to start the Castmaster meeting at 11:30. So you guys both participated in Castmaster, yes?
Yes, sir.
Duane, why don't you talk about what you're understanding before you got there and what you understood Castmaster to be once you had that player meeting?
Well, I wanted to do Castmaster with my buddy Capo, and there were complications because he couldn't be there until just about the time the tournament was starting. So when I signed us up for it, I got to fill out all the information for it. And there were some goofy questions on the questionnaire, like, what are your favorite vintage combos? Which of these goggles do you like the best? Et cetera, et cetera. And I had no idea what this was, because I had no idea what this thing was. Apparently Taskmaster is a thing, but I just had never paid attention to it before. So I'm signing up for all of this. I signed me and Kevin up, and Kevin's not there yet by the time the Castmaster meeting starts, that Nat starts. So I have to pay attention extra hard while I'm extra hungover and trying to figure out how we're going to be able to do this thing. But it turns out it's really cool. The rules are pretty lax, which we found out about as we were doing the events, which made it a lot of fun. So we got to do these really cool, like, magic-related mini games with your partner or alongside your partner or by yourself in conjunction with your partner. And it was really cool. My favorite part was Nat had set up one of the tasks that we had to do was a tandem painting, where that question, it asked, what's your favorite 2-card combo? It turns out now you and your partner have to paint that 2-card combo on your own piece of paper.
And it's a time challenge, of course, too.
It's timed, yes. You have 5 minutes to paint both sides of that combo, except you have two paintbrushes, and they're hooked together with a big,
they're glued together.
Handle. Yeah, like with a broom handle. So as you move your paintbrush, it moves your friend's paintbrush. So that was really fun. Kevin did a really great job, because my favorite combo in Vintage is Mishra's Workshop plus Artifact. And because of that, we're like, oh, like, is that going to pick the artifact that we paint? And that's like, no, what artifact do you want to paint? So Kevin, we figured out Smokestack is a pretty iconic looking artifact, and Kevin did a bang-up job painting Smokestack.
Yeah,
nice.
I think that was probably the most accurate part.
But it was really fun. Yeah.
So Castmaster is Nat's interpretation of the show Taskmaster, but with a magic twist. So I'll put in the show notes, I'll put the links to Taskmaster. You can watch it on YouTube. But basically, Nat came to me with this idea, and he said, hey, I want to do this. I want to try this instead of trivia. What do you think about it? And I said, yes, whatever you want to do, Nat. Like, if you're producing it, I want to support it. So I don't know what this is, but you're telling me you want to do it. I want to support you to do it. So tell me what I have to do. he had prepared me in terms of here's some links, watch the show, here's how I'm going to do it. And basically I said like, well, I'm going to be like running the tournament and you know, I don't know how much I'm going to be able to help, but what do you want me to do? So he did all these tasks and came up with all this stuff and brought this, which is amazing. Like, I mean, you guys know from the trivia in the years past how much time, you know, Nat puts into this stuff. So
absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, whatever you want to do, I will support it. Tell me what you need and I will try to have it there, right?
Vintage is nothing without its community, and really the TSIs are a big demonstration of that. Like, we could all just show up and play Magic and go home, but really everybody bringing things that mean something to them and to be able to have that community to do things together is really like the heart of Team Serious. And Nat really exemplifies that, like going through and putting this together just for us, his screwball buddies, to go through and paint pictures and do taste challenges or whatever. It just was a lot of fun.
For no money, he's not getting paid for any of this. It's just a labor of love, and it's just a way to show how creative Nat is at coming up with hilarious tasks. Like, hilarious.
So how was your taste testing, Eric? Did you do that task, or who did that task?
I did the deck sorting.
Okay.
I thought I did very well, but I sorted out like 3 separate times. I first did it straight alphabetical, and then I reread the task, and it was supposed to be like alphabetical and color sort. So I did alphabetical by color, and then I did the colors alphabetically. So it was a 3-tiered sort, but it took like I got done with it in like 9 minutes. So I took like.
Didn't you have wasn't it a time task? Didn't you only have 6 minutes or something? Or like?
Well, it was a time trial rather than a countdown.
Got it. So your time counted towards your score, right? So he was going to take your total time into consideration on your score.
Actually very much like that I have no idea what the rubric is for the grading of any of these, and it really feels like points are made up and you know, they don't matter. And it was awesome.
It's basically to the discretion of the cast master in this case, who had a sweet jacket to make his decisions in.
But I gotta say, I thought mine and Tribal's painting was spot on.
What was your painting? What was your painting?
Our 2-card combo was Entomb and Nether Spirit.
Oh.
And if you took off your glasses and you looked at our paintings from like, I don't know, across the field, while drunk, you would have kind of seen the color scheme of the new Entomb art with the the Nether Spirit art.
The new Nether Spirit art or the old?
No, the old Nether Spirit art and the new Entomb with the hand in the graveyard.
Tricky. That's tricky.
Okay.
I'm telling you, we had the colors, we just didn't have the thing.
I think Nat said that the most recognizable 2-card combo was Belcher and 7 mana, because the 7 was just a 7.
The bias is real there.
Yeah.
You pick a combo that the cast master is going to recognize, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to play to your audience.
That's very true.
Let's talk a little bit about the finals, guys.
Sure.
So you guys, I asked you on here as a tradition, if you will. I was able to have the finalists last year on the podcast. So I asked both of you were available. So I do want to talk a little bit about the vintage part of the event and talk a little bit about the finals. So you both had your own paths to the finals. Duane, real quick, give us the 30 seconds rundown of your quarters and your semifinal match. Because I know those were not easy matches to get you into the finals.
The deck is really built to do a bunch of broken things. So all of the games basically boil down to I get to do my broken things, or my opponent beat me to do their broken things, or they were trying to slow me down from doing broken things while doing regular things. And those ones were by far the longest games. Like my Dredge round 1 went past time because it got pretty grindy. But most of my matches all day on the back of Bauble were just absolutely brutal. I was doing unholy things to so many of my opponents. Yeah,
like every game was just one-sided, one way or the other, basically, except that dredge game, like you're saying.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't really go. I mean, yeah, in a sense, the games that I lost were because my opponents either were broken combo shit that beat me, or they were able to overwhelm me with enough control and counter magic, which was unlikely. Bauble made that very hard. So a lot of my games, I've just played turn 1 Bauble, and in the past I'd have to play a turn 1 threat and hopefully be able to deploy a second threat. By the end of turn 3, I'd have to deploy 3 threats, otherwise I was just going to lose. And now, like, I play Bauble, and I can just set up utility on turn 1, because my opponent is just so far behind if I'm on the play. So the deck just became a lot more forgiving. So now I play Bauble and just do unholy things to my opponent, and then it's time for another game.
So again, in the quarters, you faced the Alan on the Breach Oath deck, and you won. I think you won 2-0, or was that a 3 games match?
Yeah, it was 3 games. Okay, yeah, I'll give a better rundown, I guess. To get through the top 8, I played Oath first, which triggers PTSD for me. Like, I have battle scars from Oath. If you're familiar with the ancient vintage metagame, the natural predator of Mishra's Workshop deck was Oath of Druids.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm playing against anyone with Oath, my heart's beating pretty hard. But this is kind of nice because of all of the shop decks, this deck is really poised well against Oath. I'm running 1 creature main deck, and I have a bunch of the 1 rings to ignore the trigger on Oath of Druids. So I have theoretically a bunch of time that I can stall before something can happen.
Nice.
I played Oath twice, and I beat it both times on that day. But for the quarterfinals, I got to be on the play because I was 3rd seed, and that was a huge deal. For game 1, I played Bauble into something ridiculously broken. I can't even remember what it was. I think it was turn 1 Bauble into also turn 1 Vat, but like no mana to activate it. And then turn 2, like I smelt into Vat and with no fear, because Bauble's in play. He can't Force of Vigor me. And he didn't have any artifact mana because of Bauble, so he couldn't Bosaijo me. So I just activated Vat, got a Vault Key, and won. Game 2, he had some counter magic for me and slowed me down enough that he was able to deploy his turn 2 Oath of Druids with Orchard and got a Traxa, and that's all she wrote, folks. Okay. And then game 3, he had some mana issues, which he had to pass the turn to me twice, and he gave me 3 turns, which means I just melted his face.
I think I walked by that, or I was observing that last match, and he was pretty demoralized, like passing the turn like with no mana or something.
Yeah, he had a Bosaiju and a Wasteland in play, and he could not activate Wasteland to blow up one of my lands because he needed it for land or for mana. Yeah. And he eventually did cast Oath of Druids, but my deck doesn't care about that. Like, Oath can stay there as long as you want. Like, I will. Anyway,
if he doesn't have an orchard with it, then it's no
big deal. It's just stuff. But I had Bauble both games, and it was absolutely brutal, backbreaking. So then I had to go to I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to just bounce over to Eric's quarter real quick and say, how did that go? You played against Justin, who was the 8th seed. Justin, so if you don't, or if you aren't familiar with the TSI, especially the TSI, the land, we do not allow draws. You come to play Magic, or you just drop, right?
That's right.
Well, we want people to have more feeling of meaning, especially in the later rounds, where if you've gone, X1 or X2, is there a reason to play if people are IDing into the top 8? So we just don't allow IDs, basically. Justin was in the 3-0 position and ended up losing twice, but did make the top 8 at the 8th seed. And he ended up faced against you, which I think was a pretty bad matchup. Was that 3 games or 2 games, Eric?
It was 2.
Okay.
He had a pretty interesting set of... It was my first time playing against Lurrus at this tournament. I was blessed by having Jewel Shop's opponent, and then Duane and Steven, who were playing the same smelting vat, dump your hand on the table, turn one type of artifact deck.
Mm-hmm.
So that was 3 of my 5 matchups. So I kind of cruised into the top 8. Justin, I thought, had the easiest shot of beating me because it was just inexperienced playing the deck, and he's a very good player playing the best deck, always edging out advantages with Luris being able to recur and get value over time. So it was easier than I thought it was going to be.
Okay. Did he resolve Luris, or you just in general you played your plan and he just kind of? I feel like I walked by this was on camera, I think, so we can go back and watch it at some point probably. But
all 3.
I'm assuming you just resolved your stuff and then it was done, right? Like,
it's the lovely thing about that deck is I kind of don't have to think. It's like the mulligan decision is the biggest choice, and then if he doesn't keep a hand with very much artifact stuff and like things to do. The best thing about my deck is that 4 Null Rod is always useful and 8 Blood Moon is always relevant. Even it blows my mind that it's even relevant in an era with Lorien revealed because people are still just getting dual lands with it all the time.
Yep. Yep.
I'm pretty sure I just beat Pat in the Swiss and in the semis.
He has no basics in his deck?
Well, he doesn't have basic Swamp.
He doesn't have basic
even
Swamp
though
in his deck.
So you just cut off his black mana.
So if I resolve a Blood Moon or a Magus, he just doesn't have black mana. And then if I squeeze him with a Null Rod, he also doesn't have black artifact mana. And so it's a lot of little constricting little knots that you throw it their way, and then you just resolve a 2/2 and then
he does not have basic Swamp in his deck. He only has basic Island.
So I think if he had basic Swamp, I actually lose in the Swiss and probably in the semis.
Okay.
Because he definitely had polluted deltas active, but all he can do is get mountains with them at that point. So
was your game with Pat? Was your match with Pat only 2 games also?
In the top 8, yeah, but in the Swiss it went to 3 games. He resolved a Shield Druid in game 2, and my deck cannot beat a 4/4. So it definitely can't beat a 4/5.
4/5, yeah.
yeah, impossible.
So your semis was, again, like your path was tailor-made for you, essentially, right? So this is the luck aspect, right? Where you got really nice matchups through the Swiss, and then your matchups in the top 8 were like you said, Justin's deck had probably the best setup to beat you.
Well, it at least has the best way to still keep mana and do its things. It probably has the easiest way to power
because of
through,
having Lorien.
Being able to draw a ton of cards, being able to just get to where he needs to go in a manner that he needs to.
Right.
Against the artifact decks, I kind of don't care that they play a turn 1 ring and draw a card and have Manifold Key in play and all this artifact mana to untap with. If I just go, my games against Steven, he went turn 1 on the play 6 cards, and then I went turn 1 City Trader's Null Rod, and he doesn't have a counter. So the game is over. I don't know.
So, yeah, seeing Justin's list, he doesn't have a basic land anywhere in his list. So,
damn.
That really closed the door for him. That wasn't what he was prepared to play against, really. And so that's why I was saying, you were really, kind of set up on your journey.
Yeah,
through
inadvertently, I picked the best deck. Yeah, I think it's just natural instinct. I'm a born winner.
I feel like that this is what the meta of TSIs has degenerated to in recent years, is basically guys who are trying to do fun stuff and then guys who are trying to be the fun
police.
Right.
Yeah.
And in between there, somehow Jimmy won a couple HSIs with Bug, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about your epic semi, though, Duane, with Steven.
Sure.
Oh, God. I almost fell asleep during this.
I didn't have a chance to check the actual length of time the match was because it is on camera.
Yes.
I can tell you it was at least an hour.
Yep.
Talk to us about this game and some of the ways it went. Was it the same, you did your thing, he did his thing, or how did it go?
To start off, we were playing basically the mirror. His deck, I think, was 4 or 5 cards different than mine. He has more Flesh Rakers, and I have more multiples of stuff, basically. And he's running this deck. This is the first time he's run the deck. and he did a really good job with it. He made it obviously all the way to the semis, and so I sit down against him, and he has the higher seed on tiebreakers, which is real bad. If you're in a combo mirror and you're auto on the draw, like that makes you feel bad. I told him before the match started that he probably had 70-30 odds to win, but
just from going first.
Yeah, just because I was feeling so strong about Bobble, like just being first, being able to lay out Bobble and be able to start getting your advantage while cutting off your opponent's ability to get their free mana was huge.
Right.
So I tell him this, and I still hold to that it was probably 70-30, maybe a little bit less, but right around there. And that's not a guarantee. That's why we play the games. So we played it, and the first game he leads off with a Flesh Raker with a bunch of mana and a top. And I'm like, okay,
wow,
I'm not dead. We're in this. And I don't think he played a Bauble, so I was still in it with what I've got. So I had kept my hand.
You got to play your Moxes.
Yes. So I got to play one Mox, or I think I had a Mana Crypt. I forget whatever it is. We could go look at some point, but neither here nor there. I've dumped out some mana and my own Flesh Raker, my Singleton Flesh Raker, and I am 1 mana away from being able to activate the top to go get something else to keep going, but I can't do it, so I have to pass the turn. And I'm thinking, okay, he's dumped his hand, he's got a top, so he's got, 15 live draws here, and if he misses, then I'm going to get another turn, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to kill him on my turn 2. So he gets to his turn, he draws a card, he plays a second Flesh Raker, and I'm like, oh, I might live here? But it turns out he still had a Grim Monolith in his hand, and between that and the top, with 2 Flesh Rakers in play, every colorless spell you play does 4 damage to your opponent. So he just machine guns me down with 3 or 4 cards basically off of playing around with his top. And that's it. Game 1's over on his turn 2.
So he wins game 1 as you expected, basically.
I have to steal one of the games where he's on the play, and that one didn't go well. That's fine. I can go to sideboard now. Maybe I have more experience. I can sideboard better to give me an edge. I don't know. So we go to game 2, and I have some notes here. Oh, yeah. So the crux of this is that I get going and I have a Bauble. So I lay my Bauble down and generate some value. I play a key and a 1 ring, and I start drawing cards. I think I untapped it, so I drew 3 cards on turn 1. So he's got a Bauble in play, so he can't, or I've got a Bauble in play, so he can't activate his stuff. He plays an Ancient Tomb, plays his own Bauble, which is key here, and a bit more, another 1 cost, I think another key. It comes back to me. I draw more cards off of my 1 ring, and then start making mistakes. At this point, I have drawn off of 1 ring 11 cards, 12 cards. I've untapped it and tapped it 2 turns in a row. So I've activated it 4 times. And I have all these cards in my hand, and a bunch of them cost 0 mana. So now I'm looking at my Bauble in play, and I activate it to cycle a card. Because I'm thinking, yeah, I'm going to get my card, I'm going to play all this mana, and I'm going to keep going, baby. We're comboing out. So I sacrifice my Bauble, I draw my card, I play my Mana Crypt, and then Steve stops me because he also has a Bauble in play. So now my my Mana Crypt gets countered, and I'm looking at the rest of the spells in my hand that I can no longer play. I've got my Mishra's Workshop tapped with 1 mana left that I don't see, and I'm real flustered. I just played into this like a donkey. I love this card, and it is biting me right now. So I get flustered, and I compound my mistake with another mistake, which is I say, okay, I'm going to pass the turn. I'm going to have to take a second to discard down. Because like I said, I have activated the hell out of the 1 ring. So I'm sitting at 10 cards in my hand. And then I look down and realize I still had that 1 mana from my shop, and I have another Bauble in my hand. So what was I thinking? First of all, I would have to discard a card anyway, so I should play something so I save my card. But I'm looking at that. I look at Steve. I look at my hand. I say, I really wanted to play this Bauble. And Steve looks at me, And he looks like he's going to, I'm pretty sure if I ask him, he'd let me go back. But we're in the semis, and I hold to my original plan because you got to have integrity. Erase my 1 mana, and my bauble stays in my hand, and I discard 3 cards. 2 lands and some crappy artifact, I can't remember. And he's looking at his hand, he's looking at the bauble, and he's thinking. And he's thinking if he wants to get rid of his bauble to play whatever 0 costs he's got in his hand. But he doesn't, because he plays another Ancient Tomb and drops Karn, which turns me out.
Oh,
like that just smashes.
Gosh. How did you win this match?
Yeah, what is going on?
So the key to this match is the reason that one of the reasons Caffrey doesn't like Vintage right now. I win this because of Urza's Saga. I have a Saga in play, and then he does some stuff on his turn. Whatever. He's tapped out for Karn, so he passes back to me. He gets something. I forget what it is. So it gets to me. I had a Saga in play. Saga ticks up to 2. I put my Ancient Tomb into play. Take a bunch of damage from the One Ring that's now at like 4, I think. And then pass it back to him. And he plays his One Ring and is unable to untap it and start drawing cards, which, fair enough. I'm about 15 cards ahead of him at this point, so he's going to try to catch up. But he doesn't hit anything that lets him create a blocker. So, end of turn, I make a construct token, and on my turn I take a bunch more damage from the One Ring, beat Karn to death, and go off and kill him. This is the game that took forever. I think this game took 40 minutes because of all of the decisions that we're having to make. And I want to say the game just ends on turn 3 or whatever, but we just had to make so many decisions and saw so many cards that it just took forever.
Wow.
The game 3 was very fast. He keeps his 7 and dumps Fleshdraker with a bauble and just all of his hand, which is a bunch of mana. And then I had kept a hand that had no 0 cast cost stuff. I had a Soul Ring instead. With my massive skill, I ripped Soul Ring as my accelerant. So because of that, I got to play some stuff to get started, but I didn't have a big artifact to play. So I get some utility artifacts out. I think I had a key, and maybe I played my own bauble. I can't remember. But I didn't have enough mana to get one of my big artifacts in my hand out. I needed to get to a workshop my next land to get this to happen. So I have to pass it back to him and hope that he doesn't hit one of like 16 bombs that is on his deck. So he draws and plays Grim Monolith and passes back to me. And then I Whirlwind Slam on my turn, Karn, and that was it.
Karn ends the game. Yeah.
He got Karn this time without having Urza's Saga in play.
No Saga.
And then I just killed him. So
yes.
it was pretty brutal, and I got really lucky. We made some offsetting errors in game 2, and I managed to get that one, and then I stole game 3 because of Soul Ring, basically.
Well, that's the whole thing with the bauble, right? If they have that like Monocrypt, Monovault, Soul Ring, Grim Monolith hand, then you're like, oh man, that sucked. But yeah, okay, so epic semis with Steven.
Yeah.
And that sets up now. Eric's been doing his Castmaster tasks. Nat's outside having people throw stuff in buckets and weighing cards and throwing in a bucket.
For Chad too, and then I got tagged. And then I ate some shrimp.
And so you were well prepared at this point. You ate shrimp and steak, and you were ready to go.
Yeah.
Duane, you know what Eric's playing. Eric, you know what Duane's playing.
Yeah, we played in the last round of the Swiss.
Yep.
Okay.
So this is a rematch.
So Duane is feeling like probably not awesome since he had lost in the Swiss, right?
And I'm on the draw. Yeah, I'm on the draw. In the Swiss, I was on the play.
Oh, because you won the die roll. Okay.
Yep.
So now you're on the draw, Duane. You're sitting down, so you're probably not feeling awesome. But again, this is why we play the games.
Yep.
So Eric, you get to go first. Again, you're kind of just like, whatever, dude. I'm in the finals. I don't play this game. I play Warhammer.
Your impersonation is impeccable.
So you sit down now. What are you thinking though? Like, are you figuring like, okay, just gonna get a null rod, or what is your plan on your mulligan?
Yeah, I mean the mulligan decision is pretty easy. I do think his artifacts suck more than his lands do against me.
Okay.
If I needed to pick one, so I tried to mull to Null Rod every game, and then hope to draw one of the 8 Blood Moons by turn 3. After that.
Okay. So that's your basic plan.
Yep.
That's the plan. And being on the play helps a bunch, leading off with Null Rod, having the 2 mana land on turn 1, all the good stuff that comes with that.
Okay.
Game 1, being on the play, this is where I thought the wheels were falling off. I thought Duane was going to kill me.
Yep.
I mulled to 5.
Okay.
At turn 1 Null Rod.
Had you had to mull to 5 in the tournament before that, Eric?
A lot, yeah.
You did?
And every single game of this finals, I mulled to 5 each of the 3 games.
I think that's correct.
Okay, so this was not your first time mulling to 5, but this look at 5 was not as good.
I mean, it's really easy to mull in that deck when, there's only kind of 12 relevant threats, and then there's the rest of the deck is sort of like the answer once you have the threat in play.
Okay.
You're obviously not going to keep a hand with the Bombardier guy and a gut and enough land to cast them all if you're not already locking up the ground with the Blood Moon or a Magus or the artifacts with the Null Rod. So
right.
It's really easy. You basically just mull to one of those 2, and if you know your opponent, we're all friends here, we kind of know what's going on. So game 1, mull to 5, had a turn 1 Null Rod, and a turn 2, I want to say Gut or Rabble Master?
Yeah, it was a goblin of some sort.
Yeah, one of the goblins. And it was a hand that Duane had kept that was more land-based, so he played a turn 1 Urza Saga. And he played out some artifact mana and all that stuff.
To interject here, Caffrey mulled to 5 and I mulled to 4. Because
I mulled to 5 versus mulled to 4.
Yeah, so we were joking, what a start to the finals,
Yeah, what a great showcase of the format.
I kept getting hands that were just on the play, I think this just wins. But on the draw, he could have a Null Rod and just blow me away, and so I've got to have a backup plan. But I couldn't hit Gas plus Saga, and eventually I threw it all back until I got to 4, and I got a Saga and some fast mana and another land, and I'm like, all right, this is gonna have to be good enough. And Caffrey played the Null Rod on turn 1, and I think my turn 1 play and my explosive balls to the wall, do disgusting things to you turn 1 of the finals was Urza Saga Pass.
I think that's true, yeah.
Oh, no.
And so he had another 2 mana land and enough of the cheap artifacts to power out enough 4/4s and 5/5s, and my deck can't do that. Especially on a mull to 5, you can draw 1 card a turn.
Oh, so you won on the mull to 4. So you won game 1.
I stole.
Oh my gosh!
So
Eric, you had
1.
Null Rod, but nothing. No, you didn't have a gut or anything to help Bombardier.
Nothing
close
speedy.
The door.
Well, even gut. It was a gut actually, because I was debating attacking with gut into your open Saga to make the 4/1 menace.
Yeah.
And then, but I couldn't make it all happen. I didn't want to I want to see if I could draw another.
So you not having a moon effect, basically, to pair with your Null Rod, allowed Duane to do his backup plan and get you in game 1. That's awesome.
It was really cool. The game was really cool in my mind because every turn was super important. Because I played my turn 1 Saga, and I had 2 Mox in my hand, which I'm going to be able to cast, and I had an Ancient Tomb. So if I made it to my turn 2, I was going to get at least a 4/4, which is really solid. And so when Caffrey
to kill that deck.
Yeah. So when Caffrey passes his second turn without casting a moon effect, I feel like I've got a better than 50% chance of winning the game.
Right.
Yeah.
When I get back to my turn again on turn 3 to make a second token, I felt like that was it. The game was basically over. So, mulling to 4, every turn was super pivotal.
Yeah, and it strung out for a bit too. But
That's
awesome. It was basically off the back of that single Saga that closed it out.
Saga did it.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Mull to 5, can't win it all. But I did think that my Fairy Tale 5-0 crushing of a deck that I hate it was going to end in the finals, and that I was going to be pleased with that. And maybe I could
Yeah.
jump, but I still couldn't.
Okay, so you're still locked in. You're down a game now.
Yeah.
Do you have any sideboard? Do you do anything from your sideboard, Eric?
I do bring in sideboard. I bring in the 3x4s and the 4 pithing needles.
Oh yeah, that's
And-
good.
Wow, that's hateful.
Yeah, that's good.
My sideboard plan for the whole weekend was basically take out the Phoenix Dragon Engines because they are terrible magic cards, and then take out the Chromox because if I'm playing Null Rod against a deck that really wants Null Rod in play, Chromox is worth it.
Okay.
I board all the way down to 1 Chromox for the 3x4s, and then I take all the Dragon Engines out because they're just there to sideboard into sideboard cards, I bet. I imagine.
Yeah. So,
What do you do, Duane?
oh man, it's brutal. It's kind of funny. Like this matchup, my deck is super combo oriented. Like I threaten turn 1 kills, but when I'm sitting down against Caffrey on his deck, I'm the one that's scared because all he has to do is play 1 card and it just turns off my deck. So we get to sideboarding, and I think I sideboarded out 12 cards. I think I bring in just 12 cards. Like
He was
all
he-
of my
his plan was to
Dismember,
go, like-
right? Like to kill any Magus of the Moon, right?
Yeah, I think his plan was to go more value.
Yes, I'm bringing in all of my utility artifacts. I'm bringing all my lands in. I'm bringing my Masticores in. I'm bringing Dismember in. The only cards that don't come in are the poopy cards that are part of the Karn Wishboard, basically.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense too, because my deck needs all of that in play and then to draw an answer to kill you.
Yes. So the plan now is I am now set up where I am going to try to have flexibility to be able to bend around one of his speed bumps to try to get in there to kill him. And I still don't know if it's correct. Like if I'm on the play, I might sideboard back into pure combo. But now I'm on the draw for game 2, and I've got to be ready now to battle through whatever he's going to do on turn 1.
And I'm pretty sure I mulled 5. I just had turn 1 Null Rod, turn 2 Blood Moon, and I think that, and then I won with a ham sandwich.
No. This was game 2. You did not have Null Rod. You very explicitly did not. But I think you had turn 1 Blood Moon.
Oh, okay.
This hand, I kept my hand that was 2 workshops and a bunch of dudes that were great against Null Rod. And then you played turn 1 Blood Moon.
You can't cast Masticore for a long time.
Oh, yeah. At my hand, I'm looking. I've got Masticore and I've got Smelting Vat in my hand. If I could get this in play, this would be amazing. But now I have to battle through to get lands to play stuff. So I'm drawing lands, and I draw a Mox Opal, I think. And eventually I get to be able to deploy my stuff. But Caffrey's deploying a bunch of goblins. So I'm on a clock here. And this is where I want to go back and watch the video, because I think we may have made a mistake with the way Gut works, but it doesn't really matter. I'm trying to battle through, and basically I can get just enough hate going to kill 3 of his 4 goblins, and then his last goblin has Menace, which my Masticore cannot do anything about. And that last token swings in for Exactsies, and I die in game 2.
Oh, that's right. You took 4 damage to go to dismember something, and then you were at 4 exactly for the Menace token. Yeah.
So I want to go back and watch this match to see what I can do better in the future. But like the turn was really cool because I activated Smelting Vat for value, basically. I didn't have enough mana to protect me from this Goblin Onslaught, so I activate Smelting Vat on Crucible of Worlds, which Crucible of Worlds sucks when Magus of the Moon is in play. And I go and find a Grim Monolith and another key. I've got 2 keys now and a Grim Monolith.
So to make mana, okay.
So
nice.
now I've got just all the mana. So I cast Mightstone and Weakstone to kill one of his goblins. And then I can use Mightstone and Weakstone mana to cast my Masticore, and I'm thinking this is awesome because his dudes, like, I'm going to be able to block that token, and then I'm just going to kill it with the other land that I have in my hand, and it's going to be awesome.
Right.
Then I'll be untapping.
Yeah.
I've got an active smelting vat with two keys. Like, if I untap, I have a 90% chance of winning this game, like, conservatively. So I get the Masticore out, which is going to block, which is going to be great. And then in my hand, I've got the Dismember. So we pass to Caffrey's turn, and he's got Gut in play, and he's about to make another token to make sure I'm dead. But I'm able to cast Dismember on his main phase using my Mox Opal to pay for one of the black, going from 6 to 4. And then everyone watching is like, ooh, what's going to happen? And then he just swings through as my Masticore stands there helplessly because Menace is bullshit. And then I die.
Menace.
Then we go to game 3, which is a little bit less exciting.
I think game 3 was another mull to 5. I think I had turn 1 Rod on the draw, turn 2 Magus, I want to say. I'd have to go back and look at it. I don't know.
Yeah, the game was over on your turn 1. I kept a 7 that was just super fearsome for, like, random deck being on the play. Like, my turn 1, I'm playing turn 1 Karn, and on my turn 2, I think I'm following it up with a smelting vat, which I'll be able to activate. So for any random deck, This is awesome. So
I remember attacking Karn like every turn for like 6 turns.
Yeah, because I can make a blocker. My one mana artifacts become 1/1s to make block. Yeah. So I play my turn 1 Karn, and in my mind, like, I'm thinking this is kind of a loose keep. He's probably mulling to turn 1 something. He's mulling to turn 1 something. But in my head, I know I've seen a Chrome Mox. I've seen his other Moxen, which got turned into skeletons. I think that's what the tokens are. So I'm thinking in my head, turn 1 Karn into turn 2 I don't care anymore. All I need to do is for him not, on a mull to 5, to not have a 2 mana card, because all of his artifact mana is turned off, so he's got to have an Ancient Tomb or a City of Traders in order to get a Null Rod out. So in my mind, this is a good deal. I think that the chance that he got the Null Rod is pretty good, but the chance that he's going to be able to cast it without his artifacts, I think, is not so great. So I keep the hand, I play Brigade Karn, and I look over at him, and he just looks at me and nods, and then draws his card and slams down the City of Traders, and then plays Null Rod, and the game is effectively over.
That's how I remember it.
Because what was your land, Duane?
It was, I believe it was a Saga. So
okay.
I think I had a key in my hand that I was going to be able to play the next turn, and that was how I was going to be able to get some mana to make a creature. But I played, like, my turn 1 was just, I think it was 2 mana, like a mana crypt, or no, a mana vault and a Grim Monolith into Xaxes for Karn. So I had a Saga. I think my land was a Saga, which, you know, theoretically was fine because I rip one of my 2 mana lands and I can start making dudes, but it turned out not to work that way.
What was his follow-ups to that? Because like Karn, that situation isn't a game ending. Like, if you draw Dismember, you can animate his Null Rod and kill it or something, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But he followed, like, I think I had another land. I think it was my Inventor's Fair that was in there. So I had 2 mana, and I didn't have a Dismember in my hand. And I'm just holding off, trying to rip lands so that I can get to the Masticore that's in my hand. And then Caffrey on turn 2 or turn 3 lays down Magus. And now all of a sudden I have to deal with 2 creatures. And I've got no Dismembers. And the goblins start showing up. And that's all, folks.
Well, hard fought. I didn't want to, in the moment, like, show favoritism. I was rooting for Duane.
What?
Yeah, what is this?
What?
Yeah, what?
No, I was rooting for Duane because I was playing that deck A, but B, if you didn't know, Duane was part of my saga when I won champs, and I feel a special connection to Duane, and I felt like I was there with him, witnessing the same thing in a different scale, of course. But
Yeah.
I was just seeing Duane's run was like super awesome and exciting to me.
Yeah, one of the deck he's worked on for a long time.
You can go with me, and I'll lock you out of your hotel room, and you'll win champs. It's a 100% chance right now.
There's a Duane charges that fee. He says, if you want to win champs, that will.
I felt so fucking bad. Oh man, it turned out okay though.
Well, it did turn out okay, man. Eric, congratulations to you on your very hateful victory with your very hateful deck.
Thank you.
Again, it was very cool. Either way, the all team serious final. We locked out those Texans and this Tennesseans, Rhode Islanders.
Regardless of who was going to win, that's the best part of it too. Is that it's staying in Cleveland this year, or staying in the team series, not Cleveland.
Team series final was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, couldn't have lost to a nicer guy.
Thank you guys for walking us through that. So I want to move on. I want to pay homage to my partner in crime, BC Druid. And we got the BC Druid swag corner.
Oh, snap.
So what I want you guys to tell me about is, what is the most swag thing that you experienced, witnessed, or took part in this TSI? Eric, you go first. What do you want to highlight as the most swag thing about this TSI, the Land 5?
I think the story of Stu winning an actual CE MaxG in Ante kind of still blows my mind. It's awesome. It's definitely a story for the ages, one that's going to be around for a while. Him regaling that at the Land and just seeing it being played for at the Land too during the Ante games.
Yes,
was nuts. Was nuts. That was the swaggiest P for sure.
I won that back from Texas, so it is now in my possession and waiting for Craig to come battle me to win it back to its rightful owner. I messaged him and I talked some smack at him and I said, "Hey, Craig, I won this back. Come battle me when you're ready. Bring the heat." So hopefully we can get that back to Craig in an honorable way. So Duane, what do you got to say? What was the most swag thing about this weekend?
Oh man, I got there and I totally forgot that you had made Team Serious shirts. And I got a Team Serious shirt, and not to throw any hate on the other Team Serious. I've got a number of Team Serious items, but these shirts are just absolutely beautiful, and they encompass all the Team Serious spirit. And I love the shirt so much that I had the whole thing planned out, because we're down in the heart of Ohio, and I live in Ann Arbor, and anyone that's not in the know, the Michigan Wolverines are the current national champions of football. And so I had it all planned out. I was going to wear all my Michigan gear on Saturday to rep it, because football season's coming up, and I love my team, but our odds are not looking good this year. So I was going to live it up for perhaps the last time. And instead, I got this beautiful shirt, and I just had to wear this shirt instead.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah, shout out to Nat. That's Nat's beautiful design. The 5 colors of Sirius, or the Sirius Mana logo. If you haven't seen it, I'll put a version of it in the show notes. But I asked Nat, "Hey, am I able to use it? Do you want me? Can I print it?" And he was like, "Yeah, that'd be cool. What color?" And so I just put it all back to him, and he pretty much said, "Yeah, this kind of blue color is cool." And my printers got it, and I got a lot of good feedback on the shirts last year. So I agree with you, Duane. I think the quality was very nice overall. I thought, those shirts. I will have to give the swag corner shout out to all the newcomers who came to the Land. I'll call out Mr. Dan Nelson, who showed up having never played middle school before. And we didn't mention that in the wrap-up earlier, but he 5-0'd the thing, borrowing the black-green Entomb deck.
Nice.
He did say, in fairness, he played most of those cards when they were in standard. He's never played middle school before, but like he heard Nether Spirit and he's like, man, that's it. That's the deck I want to play. So
Nether Spirit.
Shout out to Dan. Shout out to Justin for making the trip out. Thank you. And new guys from Texas who made it out for the first time. Webb, Paul Blakely has never made it out to the land before, so that was awesome.
That was crazy to me. That was the first time he's ever been there.
Yeah, so it's awesome. Again, so shout out Swag to all the newcomers who like came and jumped right in and just had the spirit of the land. So that was awesome. I want to just do one last touch on the food talk. I just want to just get your thoughts on the food, feedback on the food, changes, good, bad, other. I'll start with you, Eric.
I just want to say, first of all, I'm so grateful that you guys put it together every year and everything is like taken care of, and it's like the perfect mix of snack food and like things that you could just grab and go. Because I'm always walking around, I'm not really sitting in one spot for too long. I'm outside, hanging out outside, and I'm walking in, playing a match, and sitting there signing cards. Being able to have everything on skewers is awesome. Barely any cleanup personally, because I demolish everything. But
Yeah.
I will say, I do have to call out a certain Nat Mose, a Mr. Castmaster, for not eating 100 shrimp. Okay,
Oh my gosh!
he ate
Yeah.
100 shrimp last year, and he was
did
the
not live up
catalyst,
to the legend.
dare I say, the inspiration for buying 60 pounds of frozen shrimp.
Yeah,
And-
I would definitely.
and-
Yeah, my uncle's like, I got to talk to you about your formulas here, son. We gotta talk about your ratios.
we did not eat 60 pounds of shrimp. And
Yeah.
I have to just make it a point. You see a skewer, you take a skewer, okay? That's my new rule.
You don't leave a skewer. Yeah.
Those skewers were
skewer
live.
left behind, okay? You walk even near that table and you grab a skewer, all right? We are not having that much food waste next year. Not that much.
Yeah, I bagged up. I have a lot in my freezer right now. We'll be
Nice.
eating shrimp for a while.
Yeah, I hope
if you
your
need any
kids
help
like
with
shrimp.
that, you let me know. I'll stop by.
All right,
Yeah.
baby.
I'll grab
Dwayne,
a
what
bag.
do you think? What do you think
Oh
about
my
the food?
God.
What
Those-
changes? Any good, bad, other?
I kind of want some bread so that we could
More
make
bread.
to
Okay.
pull the stuff off of the skewer and we could make like
Okay.
sandwiches.
Okay.
That was like I saw Chapel was grabbing
The bread build. Yeah, he was getting
Yeah.
the buns from lunch and putting the
Yeah.
shrimp on there with the like spicy mayo and like lettuce. Yeah, his shrimp sandwich builds look awesome.
It looks so good. But the skewers, like I was so hungover that day. I didn't come alive until I had that first steak skewer. And then
Oh.
and then it all started making
Oh.
sense.
And some of the steak skewers were a little thicker than the other ones too. And so you
Okay,
had
yeah.
did you like the
medium
thicker
rare.
or the thinner one? Did you
Yes.
like the thicker or the thinner? Okay.
I kind of eat blue steaks as like rare as I can get them, kind of. So the rarer the better for me. You know, I'm okay with it. But regardless,
Okay.
I don't want to say anything about the food quality, but the thicker steaks were great choice.
I
Okay.
bit into one of my steak skewers and there was still a little bit of pink on the inside, and that was amazing. I've never eaten a skewer that was able to be cooked to medium. It was just so
yeah,
good.
that's true.
Brought me to life.
Okay. Did you guys get any of the chicken? I wanna up the ratio of chicken because I don't think like
There was
enough people
chicken?
got it. It went.
Yeah, I
it went,
did
like,
not.
immediately.
I did not see it.
There was
No,
so
I
the chicken was basically just I bought the wrong chicken thighs. They were the bone-in ones, and I started
okay.
cleaning them. And then after I cleaned like 12 pounds of them, I quit. And then my dad was like, "You could have just gone to the store and bought the unboned ones." I'm like, "Well, I could have, but then I had already made like 7 trips to the store that week, so I just said we're not doing it."
Yeah. You could have just thrown them on, like bone-in chicken on the grill would be really good.
Oh yeah.
That's what I was thinking too. I was like, we could just
I don't
throw
think
these
two
in the marinade.
Learning.
All right, so that's all noted for next year. One thing I did forget in my show notes, and I'm seeing now. I just want to also shout out the prize table, and I just want to also have you guys highlight like what you guys took and why you picked what you picked. I'll just set up the prize table. So the TSI, there's no like big prize. Everyone traditionally, we're bringing a prize, putting it into the prize pool, and then those prizes are drafted out of the pool based on your finish order in the tournament. So you guys were in the top 2, essentially. So in the top 8, your Swiss finishes were very high. What did you guys pick? Duane, I'll start with you. What did you pick and why?
Oh, man, there was so much cool art stuff. I am not much of a vintage, like a magic grinder. So random cards that cost colored mana, useless to me. So people will put in all these prizes that are really cool, like a transmute artifact. And I'm like, yeah, that's a cool card that I will never play.
Play that card.
So it's tough for me to take.
It gets artifacts. It gets another artifact, but
it should. It should be good to me, but I hate blue mana. Oh, anyway, so it's tough for me to pick a magic card, and I don't really want more bottles of liquor at my house. There's some nice booze there to take home, which was really cool, but I didn't want that. But there was a ton of cool art stuff. There were portraits that were painted. There were commissions. There were prints. One of them was a print like on metal, which was really cool. So I was going to take a really nice portrait, whichever one I could get, based on my standing, which was third.
So you were going for one of the arts. Eric, what did you see on the table, or like why did you pick your prize? I know you ended up with something very unique.
So yeah, the prize selection this year was absolutely insane. I'm also a big art fan as well, and especially with original art on canvas, like the swamp that was commissioned by Clements. That really stuck out to me. That was an awesome thing. The original orc card with the orc card and the original painting.
Yeah,
that was really
the
sick
Warhammer
looking.
40K game. I thought that was going to be a lock for your pick.
I'm not a Warhammer lore guy. I just play
orcs.
I'm a mechanical player. I like the movement and the 7-hour games.
Okay.
And so I am very much more into something that is like a creative prize or a thoughtful prize, and I find myself every year. I am a terrible gift giver, and I don't put any thought into it, and I take the coolest thing, and I feel like I'm taking and taking. So next year I'm really focusing on giving a very, very thoughtful gift or something that's really, really unique and cool. Something that is like a one of one, or something that is like a very low quantity thing that's like, I don't care how much this is, I don't care how much it costs, it's just unique, and my friend put it in the pool and I took it for my friend and it's awesome. Like something like that really struck with me. And one of the guys who came from Austin, Jake Baltz, he drove up, first of all. Took him like 5 days. He had a great trip up to get up there. Went through like Indianapolis and Columbus, and he said St. Louis too. So he took like a big Z to get up to Ohio, up to Warren. And he made a lamp. Well, he didn't make a lamp. He found a lamp at a store, and he colored in the lampshade with a bunch of awesome colors. And he wrote TSI the Land 5 on it, and he walked around, and he had everybody sign it. And so, I was staring at all this sick art that I could probably keep on my walls for years and decades and all that, always have some hey, talk to a grandkid 20 years from now while he's taking a dump, and he's like, hey, this painting is I won this from my buddy, and yada yada. But I saw all the signatures and just the run that the deck had, and just the feeling that's going to be a unique one-of-one prize that's going to re-trigger all of the emotions from the weekend.
Right.
So I ended up taking the lamp. I do have a picture of it. I'll send it to you, Rajah.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah.
That, for me, is like kind of the most important thing. That I don't have the cards. I don't try to like win the things. I don't really drink. I try to give away all the booze that I have, so that doesn't really do it for me. But it's the unique stuff and the stuff that re-triggers all of the memories and emotions and the fun and the smiles is what it's all about.
Well said. Well said. So Duane, which art did you end up with then? If you can, was it the swamp? Is that going to go on the wall?
Oh, that one is so sick.
I love it.
Awesome.
My girlfriend didn't appreciate it though.
No?
It's like a Bob Ross thing.
Yeah, I got home and I showed it to her, and she's like, "Did you stop at a paint and pour on the way home?" I'm like, "No, an artist did this." She's like, "It looks like a paint and pour. Are you sure?"
For money?
So, yeah. So
Yeah, you know,
she's gonna do the art for the next one for your next
Yeah.
project, then, I assume, right?
I guess,
yeah, put your
yeah.
money where your mouth is, Duane's girlfriend.
So I'm gonna hang it up, and it's gonna be great. There was a bunch of other really cool arts. Like it would have been really hard to pick. So I'm glad I got this one. This one made me pretty happy. So I'm gonna hang that up, and
Yeah,
it's gonna
there
be
was-
something to remind me.
Yeah.
I think Justin got the Psychotog print,
Okay.
which was
Yeah.
like a unique 1 of 180, I think, or something. Or not 1,
Yeah.
but like 3 of
Signed
180
and
or something.
numbered one. Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Excellent. So, Duane, talk about your final thoughts on the land. Wrap us up here.
Land is amazing. Team Serious is a bunch of really cool guys, real laid back. If you get a chance to come to an event, I really would highly recommend it. Land was great, as usual. The hosts were great and accommodating. We had a great time with a bunch of people. My middle school deck didn't do great, but you play middle school for fun, and it was no big deal. I played Vintage and Smelting Vat. I'm not going to lie to you and say that Smelting Vat is like the next big meta deck, but if you like playing workshops, you like playing disgusting spells and doing evil things to your opponent, pick it up, try it out. Vexing Bauble is the real deal in that deck. I don't think Bauble's going to be good for, in general, deck usage, because you really have to get a lot of value out of turning your opponent's forces off. But the deck was great. I had a lot of fun playing it. I'm going to keep playing it. There's some things I want to change, but this is not Smelting Vat deck exposition. So I'll do those and see at the next TSI. I think we're going to have one here in a few months. We'll see how it goes. But it was a great time. Got to see everybody, and then it's time to go back to real life.
Yeah. Thanks for that wrap up, Duane. Eric, what's your TSI the Land 5 wrap up?
This is the best tournament every year, like bar none. As we age as a crew and as a group, it becomes so much less about the gameplay. Like playing Magic is so just the reason to get everybody there, but it's so much lower on the list of things to do, people to see, catching up with old friends that you don't really see anymore, and people who've moved away and come back, and the Magic comes and goes. You know, you'll have good decks that you like to play and you don't. For me, it's much more seeing all the friends in the time that I have to see them, just enjoying the experience while we have the grateful ability to do it.
Very well said, and I'll echo your sentiment that I have thought about skipping the year or ending the event, and every time I think about taking the time off, I think about the fact that maybe for whatever reason life comes in the way and I don't get to do it again the year after that for some reason, and the year after that. And so if I'm able and the space is available and everyone in my life is supporting me to do it, then I'm just going to keep doing it while I can, because you never know when the magic will end.
Yeah.
I thank you guys for being a part of it, being out there this year and making the land version number 5 maybe the best one yet.
It's my pleasure.
A precursor of more to come.
Yay.
Well, it's happened once again. You've wasted a perfectly good 2 hours listening to Full Warning, a Team Serious podcast. My name is Rajah James.
This is Duane.
And I'm Eric Caffrey.
We'll see you next time on Full Warning.
I came here to do vintage things, right? So I that's what I kind of came to that conclusion too, that, you know, I'm going to probably jam it.
When you come to the land, better plant your flag. Climb the peak of the Iron Crag. Full warning, we get the bag. TSI the Land 5, that is the hashtag. Got you F6 like your leg. My turn 1, 3 ball, leave you gag. L on your forehead, leave you tag. Wrong turn, zig when you should have zag. Now serving up the yang time. Also on tap, green mana, beer and wine. Toast to my friends, now we're all feeling fine. WAFWHF, we repeat that line. Shuffle cut, draw 7, now it's spice time. A dash of bitters and a pinch of lime. Vintage supper club, now we dine. TS rock the boat like maritime.
Welcome to Thunderdome, BC Druid on this magic microphone at the land where the mages band, where it feels really good to have 10 cards in your hand.
Is that even legal? He's probably cheating.
Let's talk about the land from a different tack. On the track, the champ is back. Rajah James getting vintage rings. He's not the king of the land, he's the king of the whole thing. Turn 1, Lorien mind twist. Who needs enemies with friends like this? No boosties cracked, not even one pack. The king of no fun, not a game was won. Romancing the stones, so far from home. They bring the big guns from the Alamo. Tom Basketball is a middle school champ, and Kai and Patrick V have took down the land.
WTF LOLMAO. FYI, we are Fly Fire OHIO. YOLO FOMO BOAM FTW.
We are friends, we have fun, land 5, come on through.
We are friends, we have fun, land 5, come on through.
We are friends, we have fun, land 5, come on through.
We are friends, we have fun, land 5, come on through.
Take me too serious, you might get mad. Often serious, 10,000%. Even the stones got serious, now they're very dear to us. We have fun and make friends at the land.
Cleveland FUG, that is my guy. With the sick beat, he did provide. Didn't break or sweat, he do it in stride. Too serious is fearless when is beside.
I'm here to play, not exert dominance. You wanna slay? Get some more common sense. Edit this so I don't look like an idiot. Tweety made the finals and try not to have a hissy fit.
Folks clamoring from far and wide to attend the mythical TSI. 1000% that is defied. The champ presents the land part 5. WTF LOLMAO. FYI, we are Fly Fire OHIO. YOLO FOMO BOAM FTW.
We are friends, we have fun, land 5, come on through.
We are friends, we have fun, land 5, come on through.
We are friends, we have fun, land 5, come on through.
We are friends, we have fun, land 5, come on through.
We are friends, we have fun, land 5, come on through.
We are friends, we have fun, land 5, come on through.
Come on through. Started with Revised, and now we're out here playing with all the sets. Saxophone Steve, WAFWHF.
You guys stay classy.
Sorry, I'm really making you work for it with editing here.